Well, Jay Powell's no Paul Volcker, no matter what he says. He's really Joe Biden's man. And frankly, nobody has any confidence in either of them. Joining me now, Steve Moore, Committee to Unleash Prosperity, FreedomWorks, and author of the book Govzilla. You know, Steve Moore, the more I think about it, you know, Jay Powell pushed for the stimulus bill in March of 21. He said he was objecting, but everybody knew. He said, oh, we needed more, we needed more. Jay Powell was wrong about inflation, really up until a couple of months ago. Even as recently as this week, he's sugarcoating the whole problem. He's not taking this step. You ran on the hotline what the John Taylor rule says at a minimum, the overnight target rate should be 7%, not 1 or less than 1. Even Richard Clarida today in the paper said it should be 4, and I don't know where my friend Clarida has been. So why the heck are they renominating and reconfirming Jay Powell? You know what I mean? Why?
Well, you know, I was thinking back to early 2017 when Donald Trump was first elected president. And I'll never forget, I got a call from the President Trump at that time out of the blue. He probably called you as well. He said, Steve, it's down to John Taylor and Jerome Powell. Who do you like? I said, I like John Taylor. But he didn't take my advice, Larry. Yeah. And I don't think we'd be in this fix we're in right now if John Taylor were running the Fed. Look, I would give Jerome Powell a C grade, and that might be a gentleman's C grade in terms of his handling of the Fed. I thought he did a pretty good job during the early pandemic period. You know, we had this kind of economic crisis and helping us get through that. But his last year's performance has been poor. And you're right. I mean, just look at what the Fed has been saying over the last year. Early last year, when we first saw the first flames of this inflation, he said there's not really much inflation out there. And then, of course, about 6 months ago, they had this line out of the Fed that it was transitory. And they've continued to get the story wrong. And I believe that they've been behind the curve now for 9 or 10 months. And you just said it very well. The lesson we should have learned from the 1970s, and Art Laffer taught me this, is the longer you let this high inflation linger and metastasize, the harder it is to get it out of the system. So that's where I am on Jerome Powell, and I think he was way too dovish in his latest interest rate move. We got him more aggressively.
I mean, look, he was sugarcoating and whitewashing the whole problem. Here's what's starting to burn me up. He sounds like Biden. I went back and I read. Now I looked at his answers at the news conference, and I looked at the actual press release of the committee's statement. He's blaming Putin, and he's blaming COVID. Anybody but the Fed's money printing or the government's deficit financing. You know what I mean? When I saw that, I realized he really is Biden's guy, and I don't think, I mean, nobody ever talked about Larry Summers, okay? Larry Summers is a Democrat. Biden's a Democrat. Why doesn't he appoint? In other words, you have to ask yourself, with all these people, why don't they have heavyweights? I mean, I don't always agree with Austin Goolsbee, but Austin Goolsbee ain't as bad as these people. Jason Furman's been pretty much on target. Larry Summers, they're not going to appoint you and me or Arthur or Steve Forbes, but there are Democrats who are more sensible, hard money people and understand that you're not going to have growth unless you solve inflation. But that's a whole lot more than Jay Powell understands.
Well, you know, I was thinking as you were talking about we did have that virtuous period from the early 1980s through almost 2000, where we had, inflation over that period range, in the 2 to 4% range. Yeah. And that's the sweet zone, right? That's what you want from your monetary policy, a very stable, predictable, low inflation rate. And that's what we got under Paul Volcker and Alan Greenspan, and even to an extent under Ben Bernanke. And that's not the formula that we have right now. You're right, by the way. I was more disturbed by Jerome Powell's statements. Right. In answers to the questions than I was the policy itself. It was basically Keynesian stuff, like, he believes that government spending actually stimulates the economy. And incidentally, I just make one other point. That's how the Fed thinks. They're loaded with hundreds of economists over there who really believe in this kind of Phillips curve idea of government as a stimulus to the economy.
And also, look at this Vladimir Putin stuff, okay? Look, energy prices jumped up from late February, but they have been rising for the prior year. But here's the thing, even to this day, You could take energy out. Just take it out of the CPI. Now, that's a dumb thing to do because people buy gasoline and home heating.
Right.
But if you were playing some economic games, take energy out, you're still left with a 6.5% inflation rate. You know why? Because every other bloody price is rising. Every price is rising. This is not just about energy, oil, natural gas, or even gasoline. That is a sign of too much money printing and too much government spending. Jay Powell doesn't get that. Joe Biden doesn't get that. I don't know who gets it. Larry Summers gets it.
Well, I think Larry Summers has been right absolutely for the last year on inflation. He warned about it. And imagine, by the way, if we had this Build Back Better bill, which you and I both played a part in trying to kill that bill, and mostly it was Joe Manchin. But can you imagine how high the inflation would be today if we had passed that $4 to $5 trillion spending bill? But Joe Biden is still out there peddling this stuff. He wants $1.5 trillion for student loan relief. He wants $35 billion for Ukraine. Just more and more and more spending. And then you got Chucky Schumer out there saying maybe the solution to the inflation problem, Larry, is to repeal the Trump tax cuts. I mean, that's the kind of crazy thinking that's going on in Washington right now. And it's the reason I'm not very bullish right now, because where's the growth going to come from, Larry? Because it's also about the supply side of the economy. You talk all the time about this. It wasn't just Volcker who got us out of that inflation. It was Reagan's tax cuts, his deregulation policies, his pro-business policies. We don't have those now, and there's no hope over the next 9 months we're going to see that.
Cavalry's coming, Steve. The cavalry is coming.
But I don't know if we can wait. I don't know if we can wait till November.
Steve Moore, thanks, buddy. I'm going to talk to you on radio tomorrow. Terrific stuff. Thanks for helping us tonight.